Looks to come inside and find one, a goal, and find the back of the net for Perth.
And the Azzurri have come back from 2 goals down to tie it up.
Cue the celebrations for the Azzurri.
Yeah, welcome to the Perth Soccer Club podcast, coming to you from the Perth San Siro, as I like to call it. Dorian Gardens, great place to be. Plenty of great football happening here at the moment. This is where we take a weekly look inside WA's most successful football club, the Perth Soccer Club. A quick one before we get into it. Make sure you tell your friends about the podcast, available through Apple and Spotify. Leave a rating or a review. What it means is we can keep getting plenty of great Perth Soccer Club content out to everyone and keep spreading the word of the mighty Azzurri here in Perth. Plenty to get through this evening, plenty of football to come across the next week or so. President Jason Marocchi is going to join us a little bit later on, and also we'll speak to Anika Stajcic from the Perth Soccer Club women's team, who's going to join us. She's fitted in seamlessly into this NPLW side, but we'll get to her a little bit later on. Let me introduce my co-host for the Perth Soccer Club podcast, Benny Stroud. G'day, mate.
G'day, mate. How's it going?
Yeah, good feeling, mate. Big cup win last night, mate. You've got a bit of a pep in your step, I can see.
Yeah. Look, it's a good time to be back on the podcast, especially after a really good win last night. And look, credit to the boys, didn't give up. That's the main thing that we took away from it last night. Didn't give up. 90th minute winner from Sammy Cook, and vibes are high, and that's what we love to see, as you said, here at the mighty San Siro for Perth. The
Perth San Siro.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
No, good stuff, mate. And Federico scoring twice there last night, and geez, you and him played an integral role, I thought. We spoke a little bit off air, but I thought you guys were brilliant, playing maybe a little bit of an unfamiliar role to yourself.
Yeah, well, I mean, like we had Fetty on the podcast last week, and we said his commitment and effort to this team and this club it's unmatched, to be honest. And like you can see how much it means to him when he plays and when he performs, and like bagging a brace from a CDM role. In night series, like we said, he was a threat from set pieces, and you saw with that first goal, great flick at the near post and puts in the far. So yeah, look, unfamiliar position for me as well. I'm just happy to be back out in the park, to be honest. And look, whatever the boss, whatever Kenny asked me to do, I'm just going to put my head down and work hard and try to do the best of my ability. And look, to have people like Harley behind me, Frank, and then Fetty next to me as well, with a lot of comms, and gives me a lot of confidence to be able to play that new role too.
I'm going to give a massive shout out to Gordon Perkins there last night. I thought he was absolutely supreme and ripped up down that right-hand side.
Mate, he's a threat. Like he's hard to deal with in training, non-stop, and yeah, like you can see when he gets to the games, he gets into one-on-one positions. He's unbelievable. But what's also just as equal is his quality off the ball, when he's actually pressing and he's making it hard for them to play out, and he gets turnovers for us high up the park. That's why he's really good at the same time.
Yeah, very, very good. And I guess it was backs against the wall, particularly that last 20 minutes, which that's pleasing as well, isn't it? Considering that you can grind out a result.
Yeah, 100%. Like we've got to take a lot of confidence in that. Like to be able to be under pressure, and it's almost like you bend but you don't break kind of thing. So you absorb that pressure, and to be able to scrap and fight, and then to come out the other side, that gives us a lot of confidence, and we should take a lot from it. It's a powerful thing, and it's a good like thing to have in your arsenal at the same time. So yeah, like as the boys said, they were in the trenches there for like the last 20 minutes, and yeah, credit to them to come out the other side and actually pull through and get the win.
What was the feedback from Kenny post-match, mate?
Kenny actually doesn't say too much after the game, but to be honest, he just goes around and he says like, "Good job, well done." Like he'll tell you if you haven't done your job, and he'll tell you to be honest, and which is class. So that's the feedback that you need as a player. But yeah, to his credit, it was pretty quiet after last night, which was nice, and I think we were just chuffed that we came away with the result, because I think it was deserving at the end of the day.
I've got to admit, I love sitting up in the stands and just watching Kenny. It's a game within itself. The animation, he rides every tackle and every kind of kick, doesn't he?
Loves it, yeah. Like his passion's unmatched as well. Like, and that comes in through his energy and how we play at the same time. And look, he'll back us and he'll fight for us, and which gives us the confidence to go do our job. Which I love it.
Interesting week, and I guess we can't take the good without a little bit of the bad, and that's addressing what we saw Saturday against Fremantle, which was, I guess, disappointing, but it still showed that you can get yourself back into it when the chips are down.
Yeah. Look, as we said off air earlier, it's probably good that we got the result last night, because otherwise it would have been tough to talk about. But yeah, look, it's it's another learning curve, right? It's another learning curve for us, and that's the only way that we can take it, because it was tough. 4-0 down, but as you said, what positives can you take from it? Yeah, we really dug our nails in at the end there. Yeah, we showed a bit of fight, and then when we could play, and we did get on the ball, we broke lines and played forward, and we were positive, aggressive, and we got 3 goals. So, and I was gutted, mate. I genuinely thought I could have flicked one in there right at the death, and I was absolutely heartbroken. I thought it could have nabbed one back, but yeah, gutted.
How's the body feeling, mate? It's been a heavy week. It was a difficult one on Saturday, backing it up midweek in some pretty heavy conditions last night as well.
Yeah. Look, we'll just have to take care of ourselves and make sure we go through all of the right things to get our bodies right for the weekend. So yeah, a little bit sore, to be fair. Some boys have covered some serious meters, but look, that's part of the fun of being in the cup and being into this round as well, quarterfinals, semi-finals, and that's the best thing about football, mate. Like, you go, you have light trainings, and you get stuck in the games. Like, it's what you want. You see the pros, mate, they play 50-odd games a year, and it's just probably limited training, but it's back-to-back games, and can you perform? So that's the life that we're living.
And you probably wouldn't have it any different, as you suggest there. Benny, mate, we'll look ahead to this week against Red Star, who's also played midweek, so we'll have a bit of a look at that towards the back end. But we'll take a bit of a break, and we'll come out to the other side of this with President Jason Marocchi. Welcome back to the Perth SC Podcast. Blayne Treadgold, Ben Stroud with you. And don't forget to stick around till right to the end, because Anika Stajcic is going to join us on the podcast in a few minutes' time. But first of all, let's get to the big man on camp, shall we say, Benny?
The boss.
The boss?
Yeah.
There we go.
100%.
Jason Marocchi, welcome.
Thanks, guys. Good to be here.
Yeah, no,
fantastic initiative, boys.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
No, yeah, thank you for your backing. It's always good that we can kind of spread the word about what's happening around the club and everything else. Mate, what's happening in your camp at the moment? Because there's a fair bit happening on the field, off the field. A huge week for the Italian football community as well. So there's a bit going on.
Yeah, it's a massive week. It always seems to be pretty busy week here, but this one in particular is huge. So not only have we had the midweek cup games, and it was great to see us get the win last night and go through to the semi-finals of the WA section of the cup. We're one game away now from a round of 32 spot, which is really, really exciting. But we've got a big game on Friday night between two Italian giants in AC Milan and AS Roma, and the club's been heavily involved in some of the activities off the field there, culminating with the Little Italy Festival, which will be held here on Saturday in conjunction with the Italian club. So that's going to be really exciting. It's a collaboration with the state government and the City of Vincent. The Italian club car park will be closed, and it'll be full of Italian entertainment, food, drink, culture, and the like. And then we're going to open the old gate on the other side of the ground and basically let the punters in to our games for free, and enjoy some football entertainment and some food and drink and the like on our side as well. We've got some entertainment for the kids, subject to the gods being kind to us with the weather. And our crossbar challenge this week, we're going to put up 10 grand. Oof. If someone can hit the crossbar from the halfway line.
Halfway line.
Yep. So a little bit tougher, but the prize is a pretty good one. So we'll be running that contest through the day. To be eligible, you'd have to come over to our side of the festival, buy a beer or a burger, and you go into the draw. We'll draw 4 contestants, and at the halftime of the main game, the senior game between us and Red Star, 4 contestants will get to have a crack from the halfway line, and if they're successful, 10K. In the kitty.
You haven't bought a ticket yet, Benny?
I don't think burgers and beers are actually possible to be if you
halftime,
if you want to be playing.
Yeah,
So,
And there are a few other terms and conditions, one in particular being you can't be a semi-pro or professional footballer. Yeah. So we want the punters having a red-hot crack and seeing if they can take home 10,000 big ones.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
I should just also say, Blayne, sorry, jumping in, but we have pushed back our kick-off times this Saturday as well. So the festival will run from 2 till 10, and we've pushed the kick-offs. So our 18s will play at 2, the 20s at 4, and the big one at 6 against the Red Star League side. So big day of football. Great festival atmosphere, and the main fixture under lights at Dorrien Gardens, with hopefully a lot of people enjoying Italian food and culture and the like, and coming along and having a look at the big game.
Jason, as an Italian, a proud Italian Aussie, mate, you would have seen plenty of over the years. I mean, this isn't the first time that we've had teams such as AC Milan and Roma come to town. We've had Sampdoria in the past. So I mean, it is another big week for the Italian football community. Yeah,
it's great, and I think Sampdoria was probably one of the last big ones, and that was, I think, the first official sort of fixture of Perth Glory, if I recall.
Yep.
Correctly. And there's this cracking story about Roberto Mancini, who was actually part of the Sampdoria team that day, and I think the game was at the Wacker from memory, and he after the game's finished, I think Sampdoria won 3-0. They were absolute class, and Mancini hops in a taxi outside of the Wacker and says, "Can you take me to Sydney?" And cracking story, cracking story. So Zlatan is here with AC Milan, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get a couple of good Zlatan stories to come out of this trip.
I dare to say it, but if Zlatan jumped in your taxi and asked you to go to Sydney, you'd probably be forced to do it.
Absolutely. Bat an eyelid. Yes.
And just one of the other great things tomorrow at the Italian Club, a very exclusive lunch with one of the greats, not only of Italian football but world football, in Franco Baresi. He is, giving his time up to sit down and talk about his career, which is an amazing one. Like growing up, I'm a Juventus supporter, but growing up, that AC Milan side of the late 80s, early 90s was absolutely phenomenal, and he was a linchpin.
Yeah, Jason, I want to go back to the fact that you're talking about like the community, because one of the biggest things that I've noticed since moving to the club and being part is how integral that feeling is here at the club. So can you just touch on how important that is, not just in terms of the Italian festival going on, but just the club itself and how important the people are here.
Yeah, look, it's the lifeblood of the club, and I know from my perspective. I'm here because of my grandparents, right? And my grandfather played in the very first team in 1948. My grandmother, you ask anyone around here about, Doris, and everyone tells a wonderful story about her. And then, my old man played here, and my uncles and the cousins, and now my kids play here as well. So, part of what we were trying to create here is, lifelong bonds to this club, and it's brilliant. The junior welcome night that we had here earlier on in the season. I see Tando Valafi. Tando, a great professional career. He played under 10s. Well, he played his juniors here. I coached him in under 10s, and now he's put his hand up to be a coach in the in our juniors. You've got Dino Julbic, and it's brilliant. The Trinker family. It's another multi-generational family. That's what's special about this club. People come to this club because there's this strong connection that draws them back, whether they live in, Rockingham or Joondalup or whatever. The connection brings them back, and we have to make sure that we really have that community feel, and people feel that this is their home, because you might play for our first team, then we want you to come back when you've got having children, coach. You might end up being on the committee. You might be the president, that sort of thing. That's the key to making this place special, and I hope we can continue to do that.
Jason, I wanted to ask, and I guess it's an interesting thing that we've seen across football with clubs such as the Perth Soccer Club, particularly those clubs with strong ethnic roots, and how they've had to kind of maybe just shift a little bit in a different direction and become, I don't want to use the word inclusive as if anyone was being excluded, but I guess just be, what's the word, a little bit more open to everyone, if you like, but still acknowledge those ethnic roots and the foundations.
Yeah, look, you can't erase your history, right? We're an Italian heritage club, but you look out on the park, and most of the boys are not from an Italian background. Yes, we've still got some good Italian names in there, with Federico Achille being one of them. But yeah, look, we want to be part of the local community. Yes, we're very proud of our Italian heritage. People understand our Italian heritage, and I think people who, are not from an Italian background actually like the Italian culture and the Italian roots and that sort of thing, and that's something we need to be proud of. But there's the question, and a lot of clubs have sort of incorporated their ethnic name back into their into the club name and that type of thing. I think we've probably come to a pretty good medium in terms of, we are Perth Soccer Club, but our nickname's the Azzurri, so we have that tie to our heritage, but we're not, it's not the official sort of name of the club, and I think that's a good happy medium.
Let's talk a little bit about what's happening on the field. Of course, it's been a big week. Went down to Fremantle, unfortunately, for the men. Big night in the Cup. And then we've got the girls team, who's absolutely flying at the moment, 18s, 20s, juniors. How are you seeing what's happening on the field across the various age groups at the moment? Yeah,
look, I think it's positive. The club's growing. This is it's the biggest the club's ever been in terms of membership and teams and the like, and I think that's a wonderful thing. We've got some challenges as an inner city club. There's a restriction on space and that type of things, but we're working pretty positively with the local council, City of Vincent, and the state government as well, which is great. But look, this is a great place to be, and probably the best thing that we've done this year is instituted the Friday night fixtures for the men, to have the kids sort of train at the back, then finish their training, come upstairs, have a burger, have a sausage, watch the first team, even if it's half a game. We want to make that an institution, and we're getting some really good crowds. That last crowd we had against Bayswater a couple of weeks ago, that was fantastic. The atmosphere was amazing, and it was a cracking game.
We're overlooking, just for the listener, Doreen Gardens tonight. There will be some 18s and 20s cup fixtures on, but if I look out to what would be considered the north of the grounds, the old brick wall that's out there, it's fantastic when you walk in, or you look out from the grandstand and just look at some of the history and some of the titles that this team's won.
Yeah, it is, and I'm a big supporter of promoting our history, and I love what they do in basketball when they sort of unfurl the banner when they win a title, and they sort of hang it off the rafters. You go to the Boston Garden or Chicago, and
even at the Wildcats.
Wildcats, exactly. So I thought I want to do something as a club. We want to do something like that. That brick wall there is pretty ugly, so we thought we'd pretty it up a little bit, and we've taken up most of the pillars. Hopefully, we can fill them all one day, and put a few more banners up. But yeah, it's great, and also the old logos. I think it's a real fantastic sort of walk down the history of the club and how we've evolved over time.
The Walk of Fame, if you like it, out there, Benny. Hopefully you get one on this year.
Oh, look, that's always the goal, right? It's always you want to as a player, you want to fulfil that success. And look, you can say on one hand it's like, yeah, there's pressure, but like as a player, it's like that's why you want to be at a club like this, because you want to be that next one, right? The next cab off the rank, or to be able to actually pursue that success and have that pressure on you. That's the good thing about playing here, right? I said this at the start of the season to the boys when we had a team meeting. It's like you look at that wall, and you know that every other team's going to rock up here at DG, and they're going to see that, and they're going to be like, yeah, we're going to give them our absolute best today. They want to beat us, and to be fair, you don't want to be a team where a team rocks up and says, yeah, I think that we've got a really good chance here. I'm just not going to go 100%. You want everyone to be at their best, because that's, as a player, that's what makes you better. So to live up to that pressure and to actually have that on you, it's a real honour. And to be part of this club, it is an honour.
We see it, don't we? We see teams come here to one of the premier venues and one of the premier clubs in Western Australian football in particular, but Australian football definitely in that conversation as well, and just want to give it their all.
Absolutely. And look, I hope Vincent Turner, the vice president of the club, I hope he, doesn't get mad at me for sort of relaying this conversation. But Vince spent a year at Florida Athena, I think, in must have been the late 90s, and won a title there. They had a very good team at that time. And then Vince, he's a player life member here, qualified. I can't even remember what the number of games is, but so he's won several titles here, and he said the titles won here was so much more harder to win than the one at Athena, because everybody wants to knock off Perth Soccer Club every game. Every game is a absolute cup final, particularly when they come here to Dorrien Gardens. They lift and they want to knock us off, and that's a challenge, and we should be proud of that.
Just one more before we let you go. What's the future look like of the Perth Soccer Club in your eyes?
I think the future is very bright, really bright. We took a little bit of a change in direction 3-4 years ago, and mate, we've got some absolute criticism for that. But that's what we're here to do. We're here to make the decisions that are in the best interests of the club. And I think in investing in good coaching, developing good young players, having a longer-term vision than the sort of short-term approach of, we've got to achieve this season and that sort of thing. We're going to have a very strong, financially sustainable club, producing good players and being a destination club that people want to be part of.
Jace, we know you got to go to one of the many functions that you've got to attend this week, mate, but we certainly appreciate you giving us plenty of time on here as well.
I just want to plug one more thing, Blayne. This week's been a special week, as I've mentioned, but we are very grateful to the AC Milan Foundation that is donating some fantastic prizes for an auction, which we will do in conjunction with the Italian club. And I think we've got a San Siro experience. We've got some shirts signed by the AC Milan team. We've got a shirt signed by Franco Baresi. There's a heap of goods. We will obviously get that online very shortly and open it up for a couple of weeks. And the fantastic thing about the Milan Foundation is the money raised proceeds will go to our blind football team here at Perth Soccer Club.
Excellent.
They're really, really excited to be part of that as part of their Sport for All initiative. So just everyone look out for that. And if you see an item you like, put a big bid on it, because it's going to go to a good cause. Absolutely.
Yeah, full details I'm sure will be all over the socials and the Perth Soccer Club website. Jace, thank you, mate.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And keep up the good work.
Big thank you to Jason Marocchi as he joined us on what's a busy week. He's getting around, isn't he, the big man?
He's one of the busiest people I've actually met in my life. It's crazy.
It is. And mate, you work with him, so there's a few insights there, I reckon.
Oh, 100%, yeah. But he does the job to the best of his ability and does a bloody good job at that. So, yeah, credit.
No, fantastic stuff. We're going to turn our attention to the NPLW side, Ben. And it's a pleasure to be joined by Anika Stajcic, who's with us and obviously came in and pretty seamlessly has come in, just banging goals away for fun. How you going, Anika?
Good. Thanks for having me.
No worries at all. How are you enjoying your time here at Perth Soccer Club?
I'm actually loving it, yeah. It's funny, like my dad had a jumper at Perth Soccer Club like years and years ago, and he goes, this is such a weird coincidence like that you're playing here, but I'm really loving it. The girls are really good. We've had some good results so far, so far so good.
That's good. And how are you enjoying the coaching? Obviously, Brogan's got a lot of experience, and so how are you finding it learning under her?
Good. I mean, life's just sort of doing full circles right now. I've known Brogan since I pretty much came out the womb, so now getting some advice off her, it's pretty funny. Even using some of my dad's passing drills is quite it's funny. I'm like, I've seen that one before, but no, she's really good. She's really helped me, and I'm very appreciative of her having me here.
Quality, love that.
Just to rewind a little bit, of course, you came from Sydney FC and joined up with the Perth Glory, and now on to Perth Soccer Club. How did obviously through Danielle, the move came in here as well?
Yeah, it did, yeah. I mean, as I've known her, I'm just like, can I come down and play? Like, it's been a while since, obviously, I've played in a while, so having her here has been good. Yeah, she sort of helped that all go.
And obviously there's plenty happening out on the park. How have you found the transition into what would be a majority of a new team, besides you knowing a couple of the girls that have come in from the Glory as well?
Yeah. I mean, it's good having people that you sort of know, because everyone around here knows everyone. So, I mean, I'm just a bit new to it all. But no, it's been good having the Glory girls. Even the girls that I didn't know have been awesome as well.
And I guess just Perth overall, how have you settled in over the last few months?
Been amazing. I definitely love this a lot more than Sydney, to be honest, lifestyle wise. Living on the beach, I mean, Western Sydney, as much as I love my home, it does not compare. So, I mean, it's been hard, obviously, you know, having to meet new people, move out of home, so that sort of thing. But other than that, it's been amazing, especially over the summer. This is like the first cold day in 8 months. I'm like, what is happening?
I just want to say this for you two in particular. This isn't normal. We've usually got a month of rain already in us by now, but we've been.
This place is just it leads you on like that though, doesn't it?
Does.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it just buckets down. Yeah, you're playing and you can't see a thing. So yeah, hey, but what can you do? I mean, I'm not going to complain with months after spending 2 years in Finland where it was freezing cold.
Yeah. Anika, obviously with the family name, and you know, still forging your own path as well. But was there any other career option than football for yourself?
You know, it's actually funny. As a child, my dad was like, "Why are you playing soccer? Like, really?" Tried to get me into golf, tennis. I mean, no hand-eye coordination at all. I was also a dancer for the first 10 years of my life. So soccer actually wasn't my first sort of sport, I guess, when I was growing up. But I guess you sort of just look up of what he's done, and I'm like, oh, I want to do that too. It looks awesome. I remember when I was in kindy, the teacher was like to me, "Oh, draw what you want to do when you grow up." And it was sort of my dad was coaching Sydney FC women at the time. And I just drew myself in a Sydney shirt, and I was like, who would have thought? I don't know. It was just, it's funny. But yeah, I guess he sort of didn't really have a tell me, play soccer, this is all this. But I guess I just fell in love with it, watching all the time with him. That's what we do, really.
Yeah. Do you feel that comes with a little bit of, I mean, does the name come with a little bit of extra pressure, do you feel?
I try and distance myself from a little bit. I mean, his career and my career, obviously separate things. They have no relation at all. But I guess, you know, you sort of always have to prove yourself a little bit more, which, yeah, I guess is a little bit more pressure, but you sort of got to thrive with it sometimes as well. So, yeah, a little bit.
100%. I agree. My old man played for the All Whites as well, so I'm kind of similar boat where you take ownership, don't you? You're on your own path, you're on your own journey, but so having high performance parents, I was just going to ask from that kind of perspective. A lot of people can say it's a blessing and a curse. I genuinely just see it as a blessing because you can just take so many lessons and learn from it. So from your dad, what have you learned from him that you've actually carried in your career today?
Oh my God, that's amazing. Probably majority of everything that I've learned has come from him. He gives advice without intentionally giving advice. We'll just be watching a Premier League game and he's like, oh, look at this and this. And you're like, oh, yeah. You just sort of pick it up without even realising. So I guess I've just grown up with him and you just, learn everything. But, yeah, it's good. You just got all the connections all the time and everyone, even his supporting staff like Noella Rate, all them, I've grown up being coached by them. So, yeah, I'm pretty much their product.
Being involved in the women's side of the game, I mean, how do you see the evolution, particularly post World Cup and everything else like that?
Oh, it's incredible, honestly. Especially in Australia where the football isn't really the number one sport. It's really come to show this season with the A-League Women Grand Final getting record numbers. Even last year's Grand Final was amazing as well. You know, the crowds have been bigger than ever, really. I remember, funnily enough, my first ever W League game I watched was here, the first ever game, Sydney FC versus Perth Glory. And from me and my mum being the only people in the crowd now to having, you know, a few thousand or whatever, it's pretty incredible, the evolution.
Do you watch plenty of football, and who do you support?
I'm a Liverpool supporter. It's been a tough season, I know. But, yeah, of course, watch football endlessly. NWSL, WSL, A-League, Premier League, everything under the sun.
That's a lot of subscriptions these days, Benny.
It is. I know. I've actually figured it out myself, and then obviously with the Euros coming up too, you just got to add another one on there. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. So obviously watching football. Then who's your inspiration? Like, who's inspired you throughout your career?
To be honest, there's been quite a few. Chloe Lagazzo, actually, surprisingly, has been a big one for me. I know as a kid, like, she probably wasn't the person that was picked all the time and that sort of thing. And then when she got to about 18, she captained the young Matildas, all that sort of stuff. So I guess I sort of kind of had like a similar journey. Like I wouldn't say that I was the best player growing up or whatever, as well, because I was doing dancing at the same time, which I sort of favoured back then. I was sort of juggling it all. I guess I wasn't really playing with boys as much as everyone else, so I was a little bit behind. I guess COVID was kind of a blessing in disguise for me. Watching the Euros and stuff, I really just fell in love with it, and I improved massively over that time. So, yeah, I guess she's been sort of a big inspiration for me, especially having injuries and stuff, as well as Kaya Simon. I know that when she was growing up, she was injured a lot, which has sort of been me for the past 2 or so years, so... yeah, they've sort of been inspirations for me.
Outside of football, what are your interests?
Well, I just finished school actually last year, so I'm actually quite interested in doing all this media sort of stuff. So this is good for me. I was actually going to do a Bachelor of Media back in Sydney, but I've had to put that on hold for now. So yeah, this sort of stuff, or media, sports, just in general, really. You
were talking about your time in Sydney, and obviously you just finished high school. I was reading an article that they did about you in Sydney about your training schedule and how intense it was. It was crazy. Like and this is a debate that I'm kind of having right now because I coach the under-15s here too, right? And you've got kids who are involved with the club. They're doing extras with academies and things like that. Obviously, if you want to get to a point in the game where you make a living off it, you want to be a pro, you've got to put in the time and the hours, right? So for you, how important is that? But then also balance like your recovery, you look after your body, make sure that it's quality. So can you talk on that as well?
Yeah, oh my God. Now thinking about it, I'm like, I don't even know how I did that many sessions a week, to be honest. Like, we were at school, we were doing maybe 3 or 4 sessions a week, and, you know, they're not like take it easy or whatever. We were with like Leah Blayne, Corey Babington, Trevor Morgan, all those sorts of people. So they're not easy sessions. So, I mean, but it was also like the reason I'm sort of where I am now. Like, we're just doing heaps and heaps, and we're also at the institute as well. We're training 4 times a week. So you're doing double sessions a lot. But it's like, as a kid, sort of, you're not really worried about the recovery sort of side of things. Like, it just doesn't really, like, come to your brain. Whereas now I'm, like, a few years older, I'm like, oh, I need an ice bath, I need a massage, everything. And I'm only doing, like, 3 or 4 sessions a week. But, I mean, yeah, like, it was crazy back then. Even just juggling it with studying and all that sort of thing, it was quite challenging at times. But to be honest, the school was really, I went to a sports school, Westfield Sports, and they were pretty understanding and helpful in the way they integrated both. So we sort of got away with it.
Probably it's got to be the most famous high school in Australia, doesn't it? Are you familiar, Ben, with Westfield?
I've never heard of it.
Westfield Sports High has produced, would there'd be hundreds, wouldn't there?
Oh, there is a lot.
Of professional sports people. It's a specialised sports school. I think Brett Emerton and Harry Kuehl and these kind of guys went through there, and a few of the Matildas and just athletes, Olympians and the whole works. Yeah. It's got to be, I mean, that sounds phenomenal.
I know, it was pretty incredible to be part of that history, I guess. Yeah, no.
Ellie Carpenter?
Lana Kennedy, all those Princess, Beanie.
Just
all
a factory.
Just a, institution.
Factory. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's the place you want to go.
Yeah, wicked.
talking a little bit more on field at the moment. Not the result that you wanted against Fremantle on the weekend?
No, but I mean, we did well considering what happened. I mean, as I was just telling you guys, it was the first time I played with 10 men, so I can now say it was not easy, but even to just get the lead, it was incredible. Good goal by Ella Lincoln once again. But yeah, I mean, considering what happened, I think we actually got a pretty good result against a good team. They have a few A-League players as well, so it's not an easy game regardless.
And you mentioned Ella there, but the way that the forwards are working, including yourself at the moment, it's almost seamless at times. You got Flannery and Lincoln and yourself that's been coming off the bench.
Yeah, we've actually gelled quite well. I mean, it's obviously taken me a few weeks to sort of get used to playing with all of them, but yeah, they're incredible. They're really good. We all work together nicely. We're just sort of starting to read each other now, and obviously, like, I'm new for them as well, so they're just reading my runs and that sort of thing. But yeah, scoring some good goals, so hopefully we keep that up for the rest of the season.
Looking ahead to the weekend, cup rounds, which will be interesting. Subiaco away, happening on Sunday afternoon. You played Subiaco in the league, just recently, didn't you?
Yeah, we just played them last week. We won 4-0, yeah.
So, I mean, but they're going to come out firing, I guess. They'd love to knock you out the cup, yeah.
Definitely. This is my first cup game as well, so I'm like, see what happens. But, yeah, no, it's never an easy game. Doesn't matter who it is. So they've got players like Maz, all them, so they'll definitely be tough.
We like to have a bit of fun with our guests, Anika, and we'd like to play a bit of a quiz. Now, we were talking a little bit off air, and I always skew it towards the guest because I just don't want Ben to win. So that's the way that I go about things. But I thought that's what we'll do, and we'll get into that now. So it is a best of 5. Use your as the buzzer there. So let's get into question number 1. Who won the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup?
Spain. Anika.
Go.
Spain.
Yes, it is Spain. Yeah, big tick for that one. 1-0 to Anika. Who was the all-time leading scorer for the Matildas?
Anika? Sam Kerr?
It has to be.
Oh my God. Why did I doubt myself?
Of course it is. Benny, is it a bit of a carrot for you, mate? New Zealand beat which nation in the opener of the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup?
Ben.
Go, Ben.
Norway.
It was Norway.
Back in the game.
Come on. 2-1. 2-1, heading deep into the second half. Sydney FC beat who in the 23-24 A-League W Grand Final?
Anika. Melbourne City.
It was Melbourne City.
This is a stitch up. It's best of 5. That's a stitch up. No, fair play.
All right, can you get a little bit of a consolation later on? Who is the current holder of the Ballon d'Or Feminine?
Anika. Bonmati.
Bonmati it is. There we go. Let's give that a big old round of applause.
Yeah, fair play. Yeah. I have no words.
I mean, you did well with that question, to be fair, with New Zealand.
Yeah, just a Kiwi true and true. Yeah.
Anika, thanks for joining us. All the best for the weekend.
Thank you so much.
Final part of the Perth Soccer Club podcast. Big thank you to Jason Marocchi. Just before the break, we spoke to Anika Stajcic. The girls are in action, Ben, this Sunday. They'll go up against Subiaco in their cup. So a really interesting fixture. And they did meet just a couple of weeks ago. So it is just the nature of the girls' competition at the moment.
Yeah, look, cup game, like anything can happen at the end of the day. So it will be a tough challenge, and I'm sure Subi will come out with seeking a bit of revenge. But look, the girls can take all the confidence in what they're doing and how they're playing. So hopefully they take that form and they just carry it on.
Just having a bit of a look at, we are coming to you live from, maybe not live by the time you listen to this, but we're coming to you from Dorian Gardens. We've got the 18s out there at the moment, and the weather's absolutely teeming it down here at Dorian Gardens. It has been most of the week, so tough conditions for the young blokes as well.
Yeah, look, tough conditions, but at the same time, I love playing football in the rain. That's just me personally. Like, the ball starts zipping around. Yeah, people get cold. I use that as people have an excuse not to try.
It helps if you're from Christchurch, where
mate,
it's -6 every day.
Absolutely thrive in it. So it's gorgeous, and like slide tackles and people get stuck in. So it's good to watch, especially if you're wrapped up in the crowd and under the lights, especially. Mate, it's stunning. Talking
about slides, we've got to have a word to Cookie about that celebration last night, don't we?
Mate, that's two shockers, to be fair. He, like we were saying earlier, he needs to work on his celebrations. He gets enough opportunities. He should have them wrapped up by now. But that was I was watching a video the other day, and I'm pretty sure like a David Beckham did that as well, where his just knees went straight into the grass. But yeah, I'm sure he's going to cop a big fine for that one.
Yeah, the DG turf strikes again. The game this weekend for your boys, Red Star, 6 p.m. Huge. Really, isn't it? Going up against one of the top teams. They qualified in the week for the next round of the Cup as well. But, they're in a good spot, so it's going to be another tough test.
Yeah, look, it's going to be a tough challenge. And the reality is that we're in a position in the league now where we need to start performing, and we need to start getting points on the board. So all we can do is we can take the confidence from what we just did in the Cup last night against Stirling and take that into the performance in the weekend. So we should have confidence building in the way that we're playing, creating opportunities. When we start taking, we're a dangerous team. So look, yes, we're playing a tough opposition, but all we can focus on is what we can do in training, what we can do in the game.
We spoke last episode just about the processes. It felt like last night it really started to come into its own. I thought you played some really, really good stuff.
Yeah. Look, we're lucky we've got some talented guys and who work hard at the same time. And look, Kenny's implemented what he wants to do, and we're learning the rules of what he wants really. And when we start flowing and when we start really understanding it creates opportunities. And now it's just about, can we take those and can we really lock things up at the back too and limit chances. Football's about being ruthless, right? Being ruthless at both ends, in front of the goal and not giving them any chances too. So how can we do that going forward, and can we maximise it?
As we look like we've seen a bit of a goal out there for the 18s, a bit of a celebration against Balcatta. So, fantastic stuff there. Ben, thanks very much, mate. We'll wrap things up. We'll let you go and watch the 18s and maybe get a bit of tucky into on this Wednesday evening. But, it's always great to be able to chat a little bit of football. Big thank you to Jason Marocchi. Big thank you to Anika Stajcic. And don't forget to grab this as a podcast. Press that subscribe button. Give us a rating. Give us a review. And it makes sure we can keep getting plenty of great Perth Soccer Club content out there, on a regular basis. Enjoy the rest of your week and come on the Azuri.